Ambassador Zekthar's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among the Hegemony Council. The holographic display showed the primitive blue world spinning lazily in the void, its single moon a pale companion in the darkness. "These humans," he buzzed, savoring the alien syllables, "have sent another diplomatic transmission. They wish to discuss peaceful coexistence and mutual prosperity." The other council members rippled with amusement, their various appendages expressing mirth in a dozen different ways. Supreme Chancellor Vorthak, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into prismatic patterns, leaned forward. "How quaint. Do they still believe their little world holds any strategic value?" "Apparently so," Zekthar replied, his compound eyes scanning the intelligence reports. "Their military consists of chemical propulsion vessels and kinetic projectiles, primitive nuclear fission at best. They've barely colonized their own moon." He paused dramatically. "They don't even have faster-than-light communication." The council chamber erupted in harmonious discord as each species expressed amusement in their own way. The Threnodi chirped melodically. The Kreks stomped their massive feet, and the ethereal collective's energy beings flickered with what could only be described as condescension. "Their largest warship," Zekthar continued, "masses approximately 200,000 tons. Our patrol frigates outweigh them 3-to-1. He gestured to the tactical display showing Earth's orbital defenses. "Shall we proceed with standard annexation protocols?" Chancellor Vorthak's crystalline form pulsed with approval. "Indeed. Dispatch the 47th Pacification Fleet. 3-star destroyers should suffice to demonstrate our superiority. These humans will make adequate workforce additions to the Outer Rim colonies." Admiral Quexnor, his scaled hide bearing the scars of a dozen campaigns, raised a clawed hand. "With respect, Chancellor, should we not study their military capabilities more thoroughly? The Terran Confederation has existed for nearly 2 centuries. Surely they possess some defensive innovations." "Admiral," Zekthar's antennae twitched with barely concealed contempt, "they still use chemical rockets. What possible threat could they pose to our plasma lance arrays and quantum shields?" The vote was unanimous. Earth would fall within a standard. Galactic Week. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the TCSS Defiance, watching the enemy fleet emerge from hyperspace like malevolent stars. The 3 hegemony vessels were each the size of Manhattan, their hulls bristling with weapons that could crack continents. "Ma'am," Lieutenant Rodriguez called from the communications station, "they're broadcasting surrender demands on all frequencies. Standard hegemony protocols, unconditional submission, or orbital bombardment." Chen's jaw tightened. She had read the reports from the outer colonies, seen the footage of entire worlds reduced to ash and glass. The hegemony didn't conquer, they harvested. "Signal the fleet," she ordered. "Operation Prometheus is a go." Across the solar system, hidden behind asteroids and within the shadows of gas-giant moons, the true might of humanity's military machine stirred to life. The public fleet, the ships the aliens had observed and catalogued, were nothing more than an elaborate misdirection. Deep beneath the lunar surface, massive blast doors ground open. The dreadnought emerged like a leviathan from the depths, its angular hull stretching nearly 4 kilometers from bow to stern. Unlike the clean, symmetrical designs favored by hegemony aesthetics, the dreadnought was a brutal amalgamation of human engineering philosophy, functional, redundant, and overwhelmingly lethal. Admiral Marcus Webb watched from the command center buried 300 meters below Luna's surface as his life's work finally revealed itself to the galaxy. 40 years, he murmured to his aide. 40 years of budget, meetings, congressional hearings, and diplomatic smiles while we built this beast in secret. The Dreadnought's main batteries came online, weapons that didn't rely on exotic matter or quantum fields, but on principles any human physicist could understand. Electromagnetic railguns stretched along the ship's spine, capable of accelerating. Tungsten projectiles to significant fractions of light speed. No energy shields could deflect simple kinetic force moving that fast. "Sir," the tactical officer reported, "the Hegemony flagship is powering weapons. They're targeting major population centers." "Give them a demonstration," Webb replied calmly. The Dreadnought fired once. A single tungsten rod, accelerated to 12% of light speed, struck the lead Hegemony destroyer amidships. The alien vessel, protected by shields that could deflect particle beams and plasma bursts, simply ceased to exist. The relativistic impact released energy equivalent to several fusion bombs, vaporizing the destroyer and sending shockwaves through the other Hegemony ships. On board the Hegemony flagship, alarms screamed across the bridge as Admiral Quexnor struggled to comprehend what he had just witnessed. "Shields!" he roared. "Ineffective against kinetic impacts at those velocities," his tactical officer stammered. "Sir, they're using simple mass acceleration, but at speeds we deemed impossible for their technology level." "How?" Quexnor demanded. The tactical display updated as the human ship revealed more of its capabilities. Point defense arrays that could track and destroy incoming projectiles with frightening precision. Armor plating that absorbed and redistributed energy rather than deflecting it. Most disturbing of all, the ship appeared to be entirely automated. No life signs, no vulnerable crew quarters to target. "It's a machine," the sensor operator whispered. "The entire ship is artificial intelligence." Aboard the Dreadnought, the AI designated Atlas processed the engagement with cold efficiency. Created not from alien technology or exotic discoveries, but from centuries of human military doctrine and engineering pragmatism, Atlas represented humanity's greatest strength, the ability to learn, adapt, and improve. The remaining Hegemony. Ships attempted to retreat, but the Dreadnought had already calculated their hyperspace exit vectors. More tungsten rods lanced through space, each one precisely targeted to disable engines without destroying the vessels entirely. Humanity, after all, was interested in prisoners and intelligence. 3 days later, Ambassador Zekthar found himself in the uncomfortable position of sitting across from Captain Chen in the same council chamber where he had laughed at human primitiveness. The Hegemony Council was notably absent. Most had fled to distant sectors upon learning of the 47th Fleet's fate. "Your ship," Zekthar began carefully, "it should not exist. Our intelligence indicated—" "Your intelligence was accurate," Chen interrupted. "Every ship you observed, every weapon system you cataloged, every technological assessment you made was correct. You just didn't account for human paranoia." She activated a holographic display showing the Dreadnought's construction timeline. 40 years ago, when we first detected your empire expanding toward our sector, we made a decision. Show you exactly what you expected to see while building something you wouldn't expect. "But the resources," Zekthar protested. "The energy requirements alone—" "We turned Mercury into a solar collection array," Chen said matter-of-factly. "Dismantled half the asteroid belt for raw materials. Every human in the system contributed to the project. You thought we were primitive because we used chemical rockets and nuclear fission. You never considered that we might choose those technologies Because they're reliable, easy to maintain, and impossible to disrupt with exotic countermeasures. Zekthar's mandibles clicked nervously. What do you want? Chen smiled. And for the first time, the hegemony ambassador understood why humans had survived to reach the stars despite being surrounded by species with superior technology. Simple, she said. Leave us alone, and we'll do the same for you. But remember this lesson, Ambassador. Never underestimate a species that learn to fight wars on the same planet where they learn to love. The dreadnought continued its patrol of the solar system's edge. A silent guardian born from humanity's greatest weakness turned into their greatest strength. The absolute certainty that somewhere in the galaxy, someone was trying to kill them. And humans had always been very good at killing back.